Imagine a radar so powerful, so secretive, that for decades, almost no one knew it existed. A silent sentinel capable of detecting planes, missiles, and even satellites thousands of miles away, shrouded in a cloak of absolute mystery. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the incredible story behind the world's most enigmatic radar system. What was it? Where was it? And how did it change the world without anyone even knowing? Stick around, because this is a story you won't want to miss. Our journey begins deep in the paranoia and tension of the Cold War. Hidden away in heavily restricted military zones, far from prying eyes and spy satellites, a monumental project was underway. The goal was simple, yet impossibly difficult. Build a radar that could see everything without being seen itself. Engineers faced a mountain of challenges. They had to create a system with unprecedented power and range, while also making it virtually undetectable to enemy surveillance. The materials had to be revolutionary, the software light years ahead of its time, and the entire operation had to be conducted under a level of secrecy usually reserved for nuclear codes. For decades, the true capabilities of this system were a ghost, a whisper in the intelligence community, a file stamped top secret and buried deep in a vault. To understand the scale of this undertaking, you have to picture the technology of the era and then imagine something from a science fiction novel. The construction of this radar wasn't just an engineering project, it was a quantum leap. We're talking about massive antenna arrays, sprawling complexes that covered acres of land, all designed to capture the faintest whispers of energy from the sky. The computing power required to process the data from these antennas was staggering. In an age when computers filled entire rooms, this system demanded a network of processors working in perfect harmony, sifting through an ocean of information to find a single critical threat. But power was only half the equation. The real genius was in its stealth. The radar used unique frequencies and complex signal patterns that were designed to mimic natural atmospheric noise. To an outside observer, its emissions would be indistinguishable from a solar flare or a distant thunderstorm. This made it a true phantom. Even allied nations, partners in defense treaties, were kept in the dark. They had no access to its data, no knowledge of its operational status. This wasn't just a military asset. It was a crown jewel, a secret weapon that gave its creators an unparalleled strategic advantage. The world had seen powerful radars before, but it had never seen anything like this. A silent god in the machine, watching the world from the shadows. Living and working on this project was like being part of a secret society. The operators, a hand-picked group of elite scientists, engineers, and military personnel, were sworn to a lifetime of secrecy. They lived in isolated compounds, their communications were monitored, and they were often forbidden from discussing their work, even with their own families. They were the keepers of a world-changing secret, and the weight of that responsibility was immense. The psychological pressure was intense, but their dedication was absolute. They understood the stakes. Naturally, in the absence of facts, rumors began to swirl. Leaked documents, often filled with deliberate misinformation, painted a wild picture. Whispers in the intelligence world spoke of a radar that could not only track objects, but could potentially disrupt their electronics from hundreds of miles away. Some myths suggested it could even influence the weather. These stories, whether true or false, added to the radar's mystique, turning it into a legendary boogeyman for rival nations. It became a ghost story told in spy agencies, a puzzle that no one could solve. The secrecy was so effective that it became a weapon in itself, forcing adversaries to plan for a threat whose true capabilities they could only guess at. Then came the moment of truth. After years of construction, testing, and troubleshooting in complete isolation, it was time for the first full-power, live-fire operational test. The atmosphere in the control room was electric. Decades of work, billions of dollars, and the nation's security all came down to this single moment. As the system powered up, the screens flickered to life. And then it happened. The radar didn't just meet expectations. It shattered them. It painted a picture of the sky with breathtaking clarity. It successfully tracked multiple, small, fast-moving test objects at extraordinary distances, far beyond what was thought theoretically possible. The accuracy was pinpoint. It wasn't just seeing a blip on a screen. It was providing a complete trajectory, speed, and altitude with a precision that was simply unmatched. Operators watched in awe as the system effortlessly distinguished between decoy targets and the real threats, filtering out clutter and noise with its sophisticated algorithms. This wasn't just a successful test, it was a revelation. It marked a turning point in the history of military surveillance. A new era of global security had begun, announced not with a bang, but with the silent, invisible pulse of a radar beam. The aftermath of this success rippled through global defense strategies, even though the radar's existence remained a closely guarded secret. The few intelligence agencies that even suspected its existence were thrown into a panic. They had to completely reevaluate their offensive capabilities. How could you launch a surprise attack against an enemy who could see you coming from the moment you left your own airspace? The balance of power had shifted, silently and decisively. Rival nations immediately poured immense resources into trying to replicate this technology. Their own scientists and spies worked feverishly to crack the code, to understand how such a system could be possible. But they were always one step behind. Without access to the fundamental research and the unique engineering solutions, their efforts produced systems that were powerful, yes, but they lacked the elegant stealth and precision of the original. The radar's influence is still profoundly felt today. The principles behind its design, its signal processing techniques, and its stealth characteristics became the foundation for the next generation of aerospace and missile tracking systems that protect nations around the world. So, what can we learn from this incredible story of secrecy and innovation? It shows us that groundbreaking advancements often thrive in the shadows, away from the pressures of public opinion and the prying eyes of competitors. But it also teaches us that even the most hidden systems can have a profound and lasting impact on the world. This radar was more than just a piece of hardware. It was a symbol of human ingenuity pushed to its absolute limits. From the engineering marvels that brought it to life, to its role in shaping military dominance and global geopolitics, this radar didn't just observe the world, it fundamentally changed the rules of the game. It proved that sometimes the most powerful move is the one that no one ever sees you make. In the end, the full story of the world's most secretive radar system may never be completely declassified. It might remain a ghost in the annals of history, its true name and location unknown to the vast majority of the public. But its legacy is undeniable. It stands as a testament to the idea that sometimes the greatest and most impactful stories are the ones that are never fully told, the ones that unfold in silence, seen only by a chosen few. The world is shaped by forces both seen and unseen, and this radar was one of the most powerful unseen forces of them all. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this dive into secret history as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the hidden technology that shapes our world. We'll see you in the next one.